You can put those on if you want to hear yourself. Hello, hello, hello. I can hear me. Can you hear you? We are loud and proud. Happy Saturday. Happy
Yes.
Saturday. Welcome to Relative Realness. We're a little bit late, but when are we early? So we're on time. Welcome to Relative Realness. It's Saturday, May 29th, 2021. It's raining outside. We woke up and it was winter again. Um,
Typical New York.
Typical New York.
So when it was third, when it was the second, what is this right
So like
now?
I'm wearing my Sherazad's hoodie today because you gotta rep yourself and rep your own brand.
Yes, yes,
Sherazad's.
yes.
I also have a blog at sherazad's.com where you can read about my trauma, drama, and entanglements.
Hey.
Last weekend we had tsunami, yami tsunami, and Planet Pineapple here,
Yeah, that
and
was
she was
dope.
talking
Dope.
about her cannabis brand in California, and amongst other things, as we always do, just get into everything. So today's guest is a true, genuine soul
I appreciate
and
that.
a really good friend of mine. His name is Jeremy, and Jeremy I've known for about maybe about 8 years. Amari's
Let's
10, so I'm gonna say about 8 or 9 years.
yeah, around
I've
there.
been on the block. You feel me? I've been spinning the block for a while,
Definitely.
right?
Coming through spreading good vibes as always.
Spreading good vibes. We've had like great conversations from everything from like relationships to government to
Cannabis.
cannabis, and things are different now. Sorry, things are different now. Weed is legalized in
Yes,
New
sir.
York. Hey, woo, woo, woo.
It's
Also,
going down.
sidebar, which is not a sidebar, which is also very important information. Jeremy is also a Gemini. Let's not forget
Oh
that it's
yeah, it's
Gemini
our
season. Suddenly,
season.
my energy has
I
lifted.
forgot. Yes,
Suddenly,
it's
the
our season.
spirits have come down and touched me. You feel me? And it reminds me that it's our season.
Season. Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
more than anything, welcome, Gemini. It is your season.
It's my
Happy
season as well. Thank you
birthday.
for the invite.
Happy,
Happy
happy,
birthday.
happy, happy birthday.
Yes, yes.
So,
Good
now we can go
vibes.
back to talking about what we love. So, like I said, weed is legalized in New York now.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
I smoke. I've been
Good
smoking
times.
for a few years now. I'm not like most people I know started smoking like when they were really young, like 14, 15. I didn't start smoking until I was like 23.
And why was that?
Well, I don't know. I always
Just wasn't
thought,
your thing?
I just thought it was dumb. Like I would see people smoking in high school and I'd be like, it's just dumb. Like you're dumb. Like it just didn't make sense. And then my dad passed away and I started realizing that everyone smoked. Like everyone
Nah,
around me
yeah,
smoked.
listen. Everybody definitely
Everybody
smokes.
smokes. And then when I found out my sister smoked, and my sister is like goody two shoe, like scholar, like
The one you wouldn't expect to smoke.
what? So when I found out she smoked, I was like,
All right,
oh,
I don't got time for
the
that.
hell.
What am I waiting
So
for?
so I started smoking. And I think the gateway and the downfall, not downfall, but the when you fuck up with smoking, like especially when you first started,
Mm.
is when you learn how to roll.
Oh, no, that's a
Like
fact.
if you learn how to roll, it's over. Because the moment I knew I learned how to roll a spliff, I didn't need anyone to do it for me anymore.
That's the whole thing
I
about it,
didn't
because
have
you
to
under
depend on like
somebody else.
yeah,
You
I
real
didn't have to
dependent
depend on having
at the
like my weed
beginning.
friends come to like roll out. Like I was like, oh, I could do this now. And then it was the recession and I had no job. So
Mm.
I was just home smoking
Smoking,
all
bunning.
day. Like, oh, I ate breakfast. Let me smoke again. Oh, my show's over. Let me smoke
Nah,
again.
listen,
So
man, coping.
coping,
It definitely helps with
coping
dealing with a lot of
it's
things,
definitely
overall
been
well
a
being.
coping
You
mechanism.
know.
So, like I said, I'm not a weed allergist, and you know a lot more than I do.
I'm not
And
a realized neither,
but you know a
but
lot more than I do, and I've seen you have host like events and stuff, and try to be a part of like the cannabis world and educate people on the things that can happen and can be done within it. So, what does this mean for you with it being like legal in New York, and like where do you go from here with your dreams with cannabis?
well, great question.
Hmm.
First of all, definitely want to, shout out the whole cannabis community, everybody that was, lobbying, advocating for, people like us that have an opportunity, man. Because the whole thing is, um, the gates are wide open now that, legislation is passed. We got things in black and white that let us know what we can do, how we could take advantage of, an industry that, like you said, people have been taking part of for
Hmm.
years now, but it was kind of hard for everybody to be kind of included in it, because of the stigma. So right now, like my big thing right now is, I'm very excited. I'm working with a new company. I started a nonprofit, WCRC, and we're gonna be bringing something to the cannabis space in New York that's is gonna be needed. We're gonna be educating people on the opportunities they have. You feel me? Because right now you're available to get licensing.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on if you're trying to grow everybody's dream, do you want to get a dispensary? Do you want to
Right.
have a lounge? Um, do you want to do edibles?
Mm-hmm.
One of the big things for the New York legislation was home grow.
Right.
So if you're currently a medical patient, or if you have your New York medical cannabis card, you could start growing right now. You can grow up to 6 plants. So my thing right now moving forward is just to, because I know everybody knows it's legal, but then they still might not know
Just like the loopholes,
or like what they
the
can
fine
do.
print. But
You
yeah, what
know,
can we really? So you're legal to have 6 plants and you're legal to grow,
you're legal
but
to have it
then
on you now. You're legal to possess it.
right, but okay, so you're legal to have the 6 plants, you're legal to grow, but then what can you do? Like, you can sell it and do whatever you want with it after? Like, how does that work? Like,
I mean,
you know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Where can you take
technically,
it after? Like,
I mean,
mhm.
see, that is, why, as excited as I am about,
How do they regulate how many plants I
it,
have? You come in and check people's houses to see if you
exactly.
got
Like
six
none of that
plants or
stuff has
not?
really been put in place
Right.
yet.
Like,
They're talking about cannabis control boards and things like that, but none
mm-hmm.
of that is really in place yet. You know, but I pretty much I see it as they're gonna have a way to somehow monitor. I mean, they're gonna try to, but at the end of the day, you can really do what you want with it. But that part of it isn't legal. You understand?
Right.
If you do have your medical card and you're growing for your personal use, it's supposed to be just for personal use. They want you to get licensed,
Mm-hmm.
so taxation could come,
Yep.
because it's supposed to be a lot of socioeconomic parts of the bill, as far as people in hard hit communities getting first dibs, or being first in line to apply for licensing and things like that. So it's a lot you could do. You could apply to grow. It all depends on what you want to do. Like
What you want
anything,
to do with it?
do you want to grow? Do you want to sell? Do you want to research?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm definitely going to be heavy into the research part of it. Um, you know, uh, right now I think there's like over 200 cannabinoids in the plant, and I think they discovered like 13 or 12 or something like that. So it's still a lot of research to be done. So my main thing is going to be education and research, and just letting people know how they can get involved, how they can make some money.
So like the dispensaries out here, like in New York, are they real dispensaries? Like, will they be like really selling weed and like you can just go in, but you have to have like a medical card and everything to go get it. You can't just go to a dispensary now and just get what you want.
I mean, well, that was the whole part of, well, New York already had a medical program. So
Right.
right now the whole big thing was we passed for recreational now. And in New York, how they have the dispensary set up is the current dispensaries that already were operating under the medical model are going
Mm-hmm.
to get first dibs to be the ones to do the recreational.
Okay.
But also, average people, regular people who also have that dream, that passion, are
Yeah.
also able to apply. And that was also something that I do believe they added, just before it passed, because that was kind of like the controversy that uh, the medical the medical dispensaries were going to get like a monopoly almost.
Mm-hmm.
So no one else was going to get the
Gotta get that
opportunity.
opportunity. So like, but would we be able to just go get it? Like, when you go
No, no,
to
no, yeah,
Cali,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
when we go to Vegas, we could just go to a dispensary. You don't have to have like a medicinal card or
No,
like
no. In New York, recreation is legal now. So
okay, so it
once they
did.
start going with that, you won't need any type of. You just have to have your identification proving that you're above age to
Mm-hmm.
consume.
All right, well that makes me happy. I
All
don't know about
right.
the rest of the world, but
Listen,
I
man.
like it.
Listen, they've been waiting for the New York cannabis market, like the money that's going to be generated here.
Right.
Even when it wasn't even the illicit market, off of that got a lot of companies very watering at the mouth of what they could do, opportunities. But that's why I really want to let people know that it's opportunities for you. Get some friends together. At the end of the day, I like to really let people know that, remember, it's still our culture, like the things we do,
Mm-hmm.
how we like to chill, how we already were incorporating the plant is the same way. I mean, my thing is, don't let nobody else come and
Right.
tell you how to
There's so much
enjoy
you
your
can do
culture.
now. It's infused in everything. It's infused in
Exactly.
food. It's infused in in creams for body aches, and it's in everything. Like
As it should be,
as
you
it
know,
should be, because it's needed. A lot of you
very
psycho
much.
people going through it right now, y'all need it.
You know,
Can't
you
blame
need
the
that.
retrograde. You just need some weed.
You need the
Like
weed, you need a little bit of meditation, need
absolutely.
some fasting,
Need
you
some
know.
fasting, need some meditation. And I love that you said that. I really do. So that was the cannabis portion of today's show. Thank you for the people who joined us early. I appreciate you.
Just
Welcome.
for the
It's
cannabis.
Gemini season.
Gang, gang.
It's Gemini season. The Geminis are in his house.
Yes, sir.
Jeremy, when's your birthday?
June 12th.
Oh my God. I knew that. And you know what? Hi guys. And mine is June 10th. So we're 2 days apart in a few years, but we won't talk about it. So you're about to have a birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So
Excited.
I like, if you don't mind, I'd like to get a little deep with you.
Sure.
So
Let's go there.
what's the journey been for Jeremy?
Well, the journey for me has been uh, an interesting journey full of good life lessons, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how deep you want to go, but like,
I mean, you can go as deep as you want to go.
I mean, like
It's up to you. It's relative realness. We
a
try to
little, a
keep it as
little,
real as possible.
a little short synopsis. I'm originally born in Brooklyn,
Brooklyn.
raised in South Jamaica, Queens.
Okay. Okay, Queen, stand up.
Queens get the money. You
Okay.
feel me? Queens get the money. Cut it out. 107, guy, bro. You
Oh,
feel me?
shout outs for real. Okay.
Let's not go down there.
Right.
You feel me? But
God,
shout
girl.
out to Queens. Learned a lot out there.
I went to a fete on Guybrush last weekend. On the
It was
weekend
probably
before last.
lit.
It was lit. It was lit. Shout outs to all my zessers.
Hey.
Okay. Yes, I know you love that one. I know y'all do. I'm zesting this time. I'm outside because we outside. All right, I'm not gonna do
This is why I rocks with you, y'all.
it. Sorry, we're telling your story.
I
Yeah,
like the interjection, good little energy.
you know,
what I mean?
Okay, Queens, and then
Nah,
the journey.
Queens is dope. Good vibes. Uh, from Queens, then that's when my parents split up.
Mm-hmm.
How
old were you?
I can't remember how old I was, but it was the beginning of fourth grade, so it's probably
Okay,
like
so
9
you're
or
like
10.
9, 10, yeah.
And funny thing about that, like even how it happened, like it wasn't any notice or anything. My mom just woke up one morning. We were getting ready for school. She was like, "Yeah, we're moving."
Oh.
I was like, "Okay." And at the time, I remember being obsessed with California. Like, "Oh, we're moving to
When a
Cali."
woman said,
She's like, "No, we're moving to Jersey." Listen, right?
It ain't nothing you can do.
Nothing.
That's
Nothing.
crazy.
You feel me? So it's like, then we moved out
To Cali?
No. I had an obsession with Cali.
That was the dream. You was like, that's where we
Listen,
going. Disneyland.
So it was all good. I'm like, yes, Disneyland, Cali, the good weather. She was like, no, we're going to Jersey.
Oh,
I was like, okay.
That's not Brooklyn,
cool.
not Queens.
It's not what I thought it was
They
gonna
got
be,
grass and stuff.
but it was cool though. We went to go live with her brother, my uncle,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like he was living with his girlfriend at the time. You know, Aunt Hazel, she recently passed a couple years back.
Oh my God, don't
So it kind
rest
of
in
brought
peace,
back a
Aunt
little
Hazel.
bit. Yeah, man, she's a good, great soul. You know, damn, my fault.
No, it's okay.
Shout out Auntie Hazel, man. Good
Yes.
energy, man. Great lady, man. So he was with her at the time, and he had a whole crib. So he was looking out for his sister, for his big sister,
Right.
and let her come with me and my two sisters. I'm the youngest of 5.
Ooh, you the baby?
The baby.
Okay, not the baby.
Yeah, I'm the baby. Youngest of 5. So it was torture.
Right. I was about to say
good.
sisters. Ooh, all.
No, I'm the youngest of 5, but I got 2 brothers and 2
Okay,
sisters.
okay. So you weren't like the only boy, just like dealing with a whole bunch of women. Yes.
But the thing is, when my brothers were kind of caught up in the streets a little bit. So that whole time when we moved and split up, they were already left already.
Oh, okay.
So it was just
you and the girls, right?
And my 2 sisters. So but that that was just childish stuff. Go through with siblings. We don't hold no grudges or nothing. It was all grown
part of the process.
All part of the process of
absolutely
finding out who you share your genes with.
Right. Me like, okay.
So it was good, So went out to Jersey. I went to middle school and graduated high school in Jersey. went to Union High School. Shout out to the Farmers.
Yeah.
Class of 2002. And from there, I went to Jacksonville State. Did 2 years at Jacksonville State. That's in Jacksonville, Alabama.
Okay, not
All
to be
right.
confused with Jacksonville, Florida. I thought he
Or
was,
Jacksonville, South Carolina.
or
I
there's a
really
lot of
realized,
Jacksonvilles.
yeah, I
Like
found it out when I went down there.
that's a real name out here,
You know,
especially in the South.
and that was a whole experience in itself.
I'm sure.
Being down south, that's the deep south.
Yeah.
I'd only had experience with the South through like movies or
Right.
songs at the time.
Right.
So it was interesting to go down and see like it's just like the movie.
It's real. Oh, I was just about to say, was it actual?
Like,
Like, was there any real depictions? And it was
it's
real.
all accurate.
It's
You feel me?
country.
But I got so much love down there, man.
Mhm.
The South has some beautiful people,
Mhm.
beautiful spirits, man. I loved it down there. You know, so went down to Jacksonville, Alabama. Then from there, I went to West Palm Beach, Florida.
Okay. Yo, you been moving.
Yeah, I did some things.
I thought
man.
I'd been moving. You've been moving.
Yeah, man. Went to West Palm. You feel me? I was there for 3 years. Stayed in Wellington. That was beautiful too, man. Down there around that time I was doing some music,
Mhm.
and doing some music and doing some other things, life lessons.
Life lesson.
You understand? But then got into some little things. I had to leave that state. Had a disagreements with some law enforcement.
Sometimes you gotta disappear.
Yeah, definitely had to do that in a couple places. You feel me?
Yeah,
But I
people still
handled
looking
those
for me.
situations.
People still looking for me.
Nah, I don't know where this reaches, but I handled everything.
Everything is
understand?
handled. Right.
Everything
Right.
is handled.
Everything's handled.
You know,
Clean slate over here.
clean slate over here.
Oh wow. If it's making sounds, y'all tell me.
Oh, it looks like you got some sound effects over there.
I don't know. I don't know what I
Crickets, booze,
did.
gunshots.
Boom, gang. I don't know.
In the place.
Claps. Never pressed them. But so how was the pandemic for you?
The pandemic was.
Or better yet,
It was an eye opener.
how has the pandemic changed you?
I mean, it's definitely raised my awareness on like society in general,
Mm-hmm.
societal norms. Where I fit in. You know, where I thought I fit in, where I actually fit in.
Mm-hmm.
Relationships, family. You know, it just gave me like an appreciation. It made me really realize how if you don't like pay attention to it, you won't be in control of your life. Like how much other people or outside forces control. Food, where we can move, how we move
Mm-hmm.
about. That's how it changed me. It just made me more aware of like how like the role
Protecting your energy.
the role we're playing. And no, you said it, like protecting your energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like you got to remember during this pandemic, people locked down. Like if people were already in a bad place, some people were just festering bad energy. You
Right.
understand? Like you got to understand, we're a social people. So people not being able to interact,
Mm-hmm.
maybe with that one or two people that keep them in check or bring
Mm-hmm.
their yin to their yang. Look, that's sorry. So
Even the people that that were homebodies and love being home, and like at first during the pandemic was like, oh, this is great. What?
at first,
What? In the middle, they were going crazy too. Like there's a dire need for human connection, even when you don't need it. Like, yeah, I'd rather be alone. No, like you need human connection, whether
That's
it's
a
your
fact.
family, it's your friends,
Yeah.
it's somebody. Like the fear of being alone can like take you to places you didn't even think you could go. Like like
especially with actions and how you
yeah,
interact with
and
people.
like being trapped inside your own home, yeah, you can make it, and it forced people to realize the spaces that they were in. Like it forced you to clean your closet. It forced you, and when I say clean your closet, I don't mean like physically just clean your closet, but it forced you to transform your home in order to transform your life, in order to transform the way you were feeling, because you had to be still and you had no other choice. So I think like if you didn't come out of the pandemic with with some type of realization of what you should be doing, need to be doing, or
Mm-hmm.
something actually needs to be done, then then there was a problem,
Yeah,
right?
seriously.
Whether it was in your relationship, whether your relationship failed or got better, or you realized things that you needed to work on in that relationship. So like for some reasons, like I don't think I would be where I am right now if it wasn't for the pandemic. Period. Like I wouldn't be as stable as I am. I wouldn't have taken the time
Mm.
to to be with myself. You know what I mean? Like to meditate, to choose to get up and work out, to choose. And it's a choice. And
Nah,
like
that's
there's
a
no
definite.
it's not a choice of, oh, I gotta go to work. I gotta be on the train because I gotta be working for the man and I gotta those are things we had to do. But the pandemic
Key
made you
word
do
had.
things. Right. The pandemic made you do things that you wanted to do for yourself and needed to do. So it was very necessary. So like what was a part of your journey in finding like your healing throughout everything in your journey? How do you heal?
How I heal is definitely with a lot of meditation, fasting. You know, um, like that's like really where I get a lot of my healing from: fasting, meditation. You know,
What's a part of your fasting? Like what do you mean? How do you like with food, with people?
with all of that, with food, people, energy. You know, just like the way we've grown accustomed to eating or just going through our day to day is really just detrimental to our well-being. It's giving us lack of sleep. It's
Mm-hmm.
making us agitated, and it's really just bringing down the areas that make us a very happy, lively, productive person. So as far as like the fasting, I started playing around with that maybe like couple years ago. But not like how I do it now. I'm talking about like before it was like an intermittent fast. Like I'll
Mm-hmm.
go half the day or 16 hours of the day, not eat anything, stay liquid, and the body, like chemicals in the stomach, like it's certain things that happen in the body that only happen 16 hours without a meal.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just certain information I came across, and then I look at great thinkers, healers, motivators, and how how they used fasting, and how fasting is a big part of, a lot of the, spiritual practices, even
Yeah.
if it's mainstream religion or like, Buddhism or even martial arts or things like that. Fasting and meditation is a small part of all of those things, and all of those are disciplines to, help a person have more control over the body, help the body perform at its peak, at its optimal performance, so um, and then it's also true that a lot of what we eat and a lot of what we feel is chemical reactions, and when you just look into some of the things we do when we feel certain ways,
Mm-hmm.
what we're eating, what we're doing, it's just our body asking for certain chemicals to try to offset certain things,
Right.
so um, I try to go into like a basic understanding of what's going in and how that's chemically
Yeah.
reacting my body.
Listening to your body.
Listen, we don't do that anymore,
We
man,
don't.
because we got to listen to society, the monetary based society, about the bills, and
Right.
that got to keep going, So when like that's what the pandemic showed me, when I had time to sit back and really listen to my body, listen to what's going on, um, and then like your body's really letting you, like there's like when you don't have anywhere else to go here, like there's no like other out, like you gotta
Mm-hmm.
listen. Like it's been like it's not you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna go there, go here, whatever. During the pandemic, you maybe went your ones and two places, then you were
Right.
back if you had somebody or you're doing something, whatever,
Absolutely.
So
I've seen a lot of people like online, with the reels and the TikTok stuff. But they have like these reels with like women. There's like a voiceover and she's like, I decided to love myself and take care of myself and take trips. And I've seen a lot of people, everyone, me too, they post they're at home and we're doing our yoga and we're watering our plants and we're in this peaceful space that we've been put in because of the pandemic. And come September, when things get back to normal, as they say it's going to,
you
um,
mean the new normal?
the new normal, whatever that is, I just hope that it doesn't stop. You know what I mean? Like, that time, because when you get back into the groove of things and waking up at the crack of ass to hop on the train and go to work and then pick up your kids and come home and cook, you that energy can easily just go back to the bullshit. You know what I mean? You can
Definitely
easily
can
just forget.
get sucked back in.
Right, you can easily get sucked back in, and it's I think it's a I fear it a little bit. Like I don't want to go back to work. I don't want to go back to working for the man because I don't want to lose that
You don't want to
time
lose
and that
yourself.
space for myself. Right. So it's scary. And like even with my son, when Amari, like I was talking to him about going back to school in September.
Shout out tomorrow.
Shout out to Amari, who's probably still sleeping. But he has no desire to go back to school.
I
Like
don't
he
blame him.
don't miss nobody. He don't. Amari has one friend in Texas named Noah, his little white friend, and that's his bro, and you can't tell him nothing. And he calls him, and that's it. But he also just doesn't. He just doesn't want to be there. He's enjoyed being home and being in his own space, which I get. But at the same time, I don't want him to lose the importance again of human connection, of being social, of, I don't want him to be a social idiot. I don't want him to be like the kid that just sits in the corner because he doesn't know how to engage or he
No, I
thinks
hear
he's
you.
too different
I hear you.
or you know what I mean? So I need him to go back. I don't want him to go back because I too enjoy being home with him. I don't enjoy remote learning. Don't get fuck that.
Yeah, remote learning
All right.
is a problem.
Don't get me twisted. I hate it.
That's the popular
It needs a
consensus
lot of
right now.
work for it to work, but I do enjoy having him home. I do enjoy being able to see him in all of his emotions. Because when your kids are in school, you don't see them like throughout every subject. Like I can see him like, yeah, social studies, okay, he'll bust it out, reading, he'll bust it out, math, he gonna bust a wall. Like he turns into like he just starts hyperventilating. He starts sweating.
Numbers ain't his
He
thing.
starts stuttering, and I'm like, what the fuck? We at home, number one, okay? It's
You
not
got
a
your
test.
base.
Like,
You got your base. You got your
bruh,
comfort
I'm
level.
right here. Secondly, I got the answers on Google. Like, if you would just calm down.
We
But
got you. We
but
got
it's
you.
like, but it's interesting to see where they break
But you never
down
got. Yeah, you never got to
because
see that
that's not what
before.
the teachers don't tell you. That the teachers say, oh, he's doing really well. I just wish he would open up a little more. Like that's all they tell you. They don't tell you, nah, bruh is just
The
not paying
vagaries.
attention
They hit you with the
at
vagaries.
all when it comes to math and stuff. So to see it and then to see how the teachers react to it, who are useless, especially with remote, which I get. You got like 26 kids on a screen. Like, first of all, half their screens ain't on. Amari don't got his camera or his mic on. So
Listen,
you're
a
not
lot of it
present,
is
bruh.
going down,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? So it's hard to
A lot of kids struggling right now
navigate.
with the.
You have to have a different type of energy with these kids. And a part of me is happy remote learning is going to be over in September. And a part of me is kind of like, eh, eh, and he goes to a school with a lot of white people. They're not that we love white people. His best friend's white, so don't try to say I'm a racist because I'm a racist to all. But he goes to school with a lot of Polish kids, so he also has no connection. Like there's no connection. Like even when the teachers talk to him about like Black history stuff or a
Don't
Black
get me
topic,
started on
he's
Black
looking at them
history.
like
What's
like, how are
your
you
relation?
educating me about, you know what I
Like,
mean?
how does this
Like,
work,
you
buddy?
barely can read this book properly about Dr. King. You can't say his name properly, but it's cool. But like, all the books they had this year throughout remote learning were white authors, white stories,
Their
white
narrative.
people on the covers, their narratives, stories that had absolutely nothing to do with nothing that is going on in the world, in their world, that will ever go on in their world. None of them are in a tree in the woods, like none of them are in the wilderness. But the last book they had, or the book they were doing now, was The Year of the Broad, Jackie Robinson. And there was the documents that were sent, and some of the documents had like the month of February on it. So I'm just like, so this was the Black History Month book that you just didn't do, and you're trying to slide it in at the end of the year, right?
I mean,
So then I said, guess what? We will not be a part of this book. We will not be reading this book. We will not be a part of class
we're not
participation
giving
with
it the
this
energy.
book. We're not doing a project with this book. You can kiss my royal black ass because I'm not doing it. Like, and I'm also not having my child sit on a Zoom as the chocolate kid in the classroom for you to then analyze whatever's going on in the book that dealt with racial issues
And how
to
he feels
see,
about it.
right, to see how he has he been affected. We're not about to do that. So we didn't get a grade for that one. But at the end of the day, you still gonna give him a 3 because it's remote learning. That's what y'all been doing all year. So like,
What's really going
but
on?
it's
Like, it's
really
not really about
sad.
that.
There's no depiction. There's no storylines. There's no and I'm really tired and sad of hearing the same stories. I'm hearing the same civil rights stories about the same people, about the same struggle. Just reminding you where you came from and that nothing really is different. Like it's really sad, and I just don't want to be a part of it anymore. So it's his last year. So after this, he'll hopefully be going, to middle school somewhere, and I can
Hopefully,
find a nice
with a little
chocolate
more
school with
diverse,
with
and they're giving some like equal information. Like I
yeah,
agree with you. Like how you talk about like what they teach, the history. Um, it is the same history, and a lot of it to me just paints a picture of um you should accept like whatever you get now.
right. And
You
most of it's
know,
not even relevant. It's so not relevant anymore. Like I think about
it's relevant
what
to
our history books used to
holding
look
us
like.
back.
Right. It's exactly. I think about what our history books used to look like, and then I think about damn, like what our kids and their kids' history books are gonna look like the
It's already
nonsense
changing. It's already
and
changing.
drama and just bull that has been news is like that has been world history
It's
is
crazy.
it's sad, and like it makes me like there's no way that other countries can't look at America and just they laugh at us all the
Laughing at
time
stuff.
like because
And their history that they're taught about America is different than what we're taught about
yeah,
America.
because they're taught the truth. Oh,
That's a definite.
I'm just saying, but they're taught the truth, so they know, and then they come here like, like y'all don't even know.
And it's like a whole bill that was written just for that. Like that's how serious it is.
That's the way it is.
Yeah, like they have to control like it's really just about controlling the narrative, you
Controlling
know,
that, and Jeremy's very big on documentaries and YouTube videos. It runs in
and
your
and
family, but
and research.
and research.
See,
He's big
see, the
on
deeper part of than the
research.
videos is you got to do
You
research
gotta
too.
do
You feel me?
research.
Because like as much as I like to watch the videos, which I do, I also read the books that they leave in their links to so they put
Mhm.
together. I like to get like a full knowledge.
Mhm.
So like my old like reading repertoire as far as like some of these PDFs. A lot of these books you can't. Like I want to send you that disembodiment book. It's a book written like 80 years ago by the dude who was kind of in Abraham Lincoln's corner. Kind of like
Mhm.
his writer. It's a black dude. And like that's some of the history I've been uncovering. Not uncovering, but just like uncovering for myself. It's history. It's public information.
Right.
But just like um the narrative, man. I mean, like you talk about the narrative they want to control. Like when you think about it, if like how they tell the story of slavery, right? So
Mhm.
when you hear it from that point of view, someone could be happy with whatever they got because you made it from slavery. You came from that. You'd be
Right.
happy being a janitor. You used to be a slave.
Mhm.
But like I feel the narrative should be more about how we were kings, we were business owners, and things like that. Because then you wouldn't accept whatever. You'd be like, I gotta get back to where I was at.
Right.
So when they could,
That is our destiny. Period. Right.
but if it's always the same thing of, man, you've been through this 400 years of that,
The constant reminder.
you're gonna
Every
accept anything.
movie is about you running for
You know,
freedom.
so it's like, man, you were running for freedom.
Right.
You made now you're gonna get a job, you're gonna get a career, you're gonna get a mortgage, get all that basic shit that's gonna have
Mhm.
you paying forever.
Mhm.
And that's why most people are
Mhm.
happy with that. That's why people gotta change the narrative. Let
And
the
even
kids
now,
imagine.
you have your freedom, you have the mortgage, you have the house, you have the home, and you still running from freedom because cops are shooting you everywhere. So it's like it's the
The
same
next
story.
level.
This
The
it's just the
next
next
level.
level of reminding you that they're constantly trying to get rid of us. Like there's constantly like
And it's
just
been like that for so long.
it's sad.
So
I was
long.
watching the sidebar. I was watching the Friends reunion, and I never really watched Friends. I think the only episode I really watched was the Smelly Cat episode, and I'm watching the reunion, and I'm thinking to myself, this show is trash. Like the show is trash. Like if you think about it, the black shows that we had growing up, the sitcoms and like the Lifetime movies,
That was like
whatever.
the basis for all of these
But
big
not only that,
shows.
but there was always a storyline. There was always a lesson to be learned after every episode. There was always like there was
A message.
a message or a main topic. A different world always talked about race or sexism or something. You know what I'm saying?
That you could apply and they could
Friends
see.
wasn't talking about shit. Like they was literally about white people sleeping with each other. Like there was nothing. None of them had amazing.
So then what
Ross
was
was
the
like a
message?
painting. He was some dinosaur guy. He walked around with a monkey on his shoulder. Like I was so annoyed of watching it. Like I'm just skipping through it. Like get to the point. Like at what point did y'all change lives? I don't know when
It
it
wasn't a
happened.
point. It's like did you ever know? So you heard about Seinfeld, right?
No, and I never watched that really. He spoke at my high school graduation though.
Nah, but the funny thing is, right? So
Black people love Seinfeld.
I didn't know that. You know how you do like a pilot for a show?
Mm-hmm.
So their whole basis for that show was literally a show about nothing.
I'm sure.
So like to me, I kind of feel like maybe Friends kind of has that because I
Well,
don't think it
Friends.
was.
No, okay. Let me tell you the story about Friends in case y'all didn't know real quick.
I didn't know.
So,
It seemed like it was a story about nothing too.
what show do we have that's exactly like Friends?
Like now, like a
No,
new
an
show.
old show.
I feel you got a couple.
So,
I would say.
Living Single
Okay, I was gonna say Living Single.
originally went to NBC with this concept of friends living together and living in the same apartments,
Gotcha.
which is the same concept as Friends. And they said it's not going to work. And then they went and made Friends with
Interesting.
this all white cast. And these people got paid millions of dollars for this show.
Yeah, I
It's
mean-
the same exact concept.
Yeah, I
It's the
remember at
same
one
exact
point
show.
they were
Like,
getting like $1 million an episode.
it's the same exact show. But because it's not going to work with black people because that's not what we want to see. They weren't ready. They weren't ready to see that.
And why I still don't understand.
And why I sound that because I still watch Living Single to this day. Like
It's classics.
that's a classic. Like it'll like what other
Substance.
black lawyers were we seeing and fashion and the quirky one and that was our cousins. Those were the people we knew. You know, there was no representation of us and they weren't ready for it and they're still not ready for it. Where's the Living Single reunion? Where's like I want to see those
They don't
reunions.
wanna do none of
You know
that.
what I'm saying?
The
I
reunions
don't
we
wanna see
have right
Friends.
now are Love and Hip Hop.
Well, I'm happy that no,
Housewives.
well, yeah, keep you where you are. And then don't stop fighting on the shows because then you get bored and nobody's watching y'all no more and your ratings go down and now y'all get canceled and then they come up with more
Pushing the narrative. Man.
ridiculous stations like Zeus and Jocelyn's Cabernet and bullshit like more ratchet but like we was getting away from it. It was fading away. Like Love and Hip Hop was
Definitely
fading
was.
away. They were fighting less. They were sleeping less with each other's husbands and shit. And now it's like, nah, let's give y'all some more trash to remind you.
Got to keep people distracted, man.
It's not cool, but it is where we are. But we have to change. We have to change it. We have to change the narrative. We have to
Exactly.
change, and we have to
The
give
power
different
is in our hands, you know.
different images. There's so much out there. There's so much artistry. There's so many creatives. There's so many just beautiful people outside. If you just go outside, we outside. You know, you could go outside.
Yeah, I was never adhering to pandemic protocol. I was outside the whole
I was
time.
outside too, and praise the Lord, you know, I didn't catch COVID or anything, and I didn't even get sick. This
You didn't catch the flu this year?
I didn't catch a goddamn thing. Hey,
I don't think anybody caught the flu. This
I wasn't
year.
even catching feelings. You feel me? Because I was in my space. You heard?
You was in that good.
I was in
high,
that
elevated
good
space.
energy space, and I want to
As it
stay
should be.
in that space. So it's still Gemini season.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Yes, sir.
my birthday's coming up. My show. I don't know if I'll be here for my birthday show, but things can happen. You know, I plan to be flown away somewhere. I plan to be on an island.
So you're gonna do like a mobile taping?
I don't know. It depends on
You're
what
gonna
the
do
people
a
want.
Special edition birthday.
Do a
episode?
special
That'd
edition.
be
Oh, I
dope.
could do like a birthday. I could do
Yeah.
like a birthday live episode of
That'd be
Relative
dope.
Realness. You know what I'm saying? And I could just like,
International.
you know, on a beach, you know, somewhere with
International
a glass
show
of
up
lemonade and a
sun,
split in my hand. You feel me?
no sleeves.
And then y'all could like donate to like, you know, my Cash App.
That's how you gotta do it,
Venmo.
guys. And the cash app is
PayPal. Oh, the Cash App. Give me the dough.
give me the dollar.
Give me the dough. I'll put the spelling in there for y'all
Give me the
later. I
dough
say that all the
one
time and I
time.
never do it. But I appreciate you for coming today. So my last question for Jeremy would be, Jeremy, what's the dream? What's your dream? What do you see for Jeremy?
My dream, what do I see for me? The dream definitely is to have my own, self-sustaining city off the grid in Guyana. That's like a little pet project I'm working on right
It's
now.
always good to
Bought
go
some
back
land
home.
back home. Get some land, y'all. You feel me? I'm looking into a lot of heavy farming a lot of roots and herbs. Gonna be starting with the hemp. But then, we're gonna be doing ginger, kale, spinach, tomatoes, all of that.
though? Why do you why do you think people should get land, invest in getting land?
Well, all wealth comes from land.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like the basics of it.
And your 40 acres.
And a lot of the bills, you just said the 40 acres and a what?
Mm-hmm. And a mule.
And what was that for? Because they were trying to have them have a way to build their wealth back.
Exactly.
So you really can't build wealth without land or
That
like a base.
foundation, it's that
You know,
generational wealth.
and yeah, and
Something to give back to your family.
exactly. My whole
Hand
thing is
down.
it's supposed to be like a lot of us start with like the same cycle. I don't have any kids yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to have it that when I do have my first kid, like things will be in place already. Like he'll have a set of land. I'll have a trust set up for him.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, like we all want to have uh, comfortable level of stability monetarily,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't do what it takes to get that though. We don't save how the people who live how we want to live save. We don't spend how they spend.
Right.
A lot of us like my last little thing about this dream. My dream really is to get away from a false sense of independence. You understand? Um, Universal law is balance. We're all interconnected. You feel me? I don't want to be the best individual. That's not serving me. I can't serve my kids just being the best me. That's
Mm-hmm.
bullshit. We're all a tribe.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Once we start looking out for each other, like how our ancestors did, we are going to be a lot better off.
It's a
You feel me?
village.
That listen, that saying didn't come
It
for no
has
reason.
never changed. It still takes a village, period.
You know?
That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming,
Man,
Jeremy.
I
I
appreciate you,
appreciate your
Shara.
energy. I appreciate your Gemini
Yes, sir. You dig?
vibes.
I'm a little low today because I was out with this same one here last
Okay,
night.
no,
You feel
we're
me?
not gonna do that. Here's what we're not gonna do. We're not gonna make it seem like I took him out. Let's be clear. I was in my bed comfortably about to watch my Grey's Anatomy. And sidebar, this is the first episode of Grey's Anatomy that I did not cry.
Wow. Okay, that's growth. That's growth. Look at you already.
Meredith still has to die, but we'll talk about that later. So I was minding my business, right? And he said, "You want to go out?" And I was like, "All right, Jeremy, we're gonna go out." And he was like, "Yeah, get ready." And I was like, "Oh shit, like today now, okay." So I got ready, and thank you for inviting me. We went to Drip BK.
Drip BK.
Mind you,
Perfect
I'm
Rhyme.
telling Amari I'm going out. He's like, "Where you going?" I was like, "Drip BK," and he was like, "That's not a real place because
Wow.
on my Animal Crossing." My island on Animal Crossing is BK Drip. So he was like, "That's not a real place. That's your island." And I'm like, I said Drip BK, not BK Drip, not to be confused. Catch me if you can. Coco Drip on the Switch. If you want to be friends. But yeah, smart ass. But I went to BK Drip with Jeremy last night, and there was about 7 of us there, and it was a turn up.
We got there late.
We got there late, but it was cool. It was cool.
Definitely cool. Good vibes.
The less the better for me always. But it was good vibes. We played Uno. Everybody got different Uno rules.
Yeah, bust her head. She was talking all of that trash and got in there and was a little shaky, a little nervous.
No, because they gave a whole different set of rules and then played a whole different type of Uno with like one card.
That's
and
like
you just
Uno Olympics in it.
I ain't never, but again, I just feel like everyone should write their Uno rules down in their establishment before they invite people to game night, because that's how the fights break out.
I did warn you.
I don't care, because what they said and what they did was 2 different things. Okay, so I'm gonna need everyone to get a chalkboard or something, and you must write your Uno rules down, because house rule Uno rules. So then it's not a discussion. You feel me? You got confusion? Oh yeah, I can't do that. All right, you feel me? Because it was about to be a fight. But I won a few times. I did win a few times.
You definitely did.
Cause that ass, you feel me? Because that's what I do. But it was a great time. Drip BK, it's a dope cafe on
830 Rogers.
830 Rogers. So shout out to them.
Shout out to my boy Mitch Piastro.
Mitch. We watched a dope documentary.
Yeah, we watched Buck Breaking last night.
Buck Breaking. And you can decipher and try to figure out what that was about if you like. But I'm sure if you know, you know. If you're ready for that, then it was very enlightening.
Yeah, it was interesting.
It was. We smoked a few spliffs. We had a bomb ass drink. I can tell you what it was. It was agave.
Shout out to Luna. Yeah,
Luna. It was agave with
the bartender, my
with Casamigos mixed with a purple rain drink, and she called it the Harlequin, and it was purple, and that shit. It was sweet. It was hitting.
And it's a creeper.
It was a creeper.
It doesn't taste like nothing. It just tastes like.
And
goodness.
We like drinks like that just tastes like juice. And then you try to stand up and you be like, "Oh, teach me how to Dougie." You didn't know, but it was a beautiful drink. I had a great time. Tina said, "Hey, Jeremy." Everybody saying, "Hey, thank you guys for coming on the live. Thank you guys for tuning in. You can catch us on YouTube, Amazon, Roku, Vimeo, and you can always catch me on live. Don't forget, it's Gemini season. It's my birthday coming up. It's Jeremy's birthday coming up. That's why he's here. If you missed it, we talked about cannabis. We talked about what we could do with it, what we need to do with it. We talked about journeys. We talked about truth. We talked about healing. And you missed it. So next time, come on time because the show's over now. But I appreciate y'all. I love y'all.
And then also, I got an email in case, the WCRC, we're going to be doing some educational events coming up. So if you want to reach out for, availability to RSVP, you can email us at cannabisstudygroup.nypolicy@gmail.com.
Okay, guys. I'm going to put that in the after show information. I'll
Appreciate
see
that,
you
y'all.
guys next week. Thank you, Jeremy.
Peace and love, y'all.
Stay
Blessings full
blessed.
circle.
Stay black. Stay
Stay
beautiful. Stay humble.
Yeah, I've been hearing
I
that for
love
years.
you.
Love that, love that.
Later. I'm going to stay